Hello, CIS 114 DE students. I'm Wayne Jensen, the instructor for your course. And in this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to use the VLOOKUP function to populate the price column of the July sales table based on the price list on the right. So in this assignment, we have two tables. One is the July sales table, which is this table on the left here. And then on the right, we have the price list table. Okay, we want to populate the price in column D based on the product that's in column B. So the price in column D based on the product in column B. D is in dog, B is in boy. Okay, so we're going to put a formula here. We're going to use the VLOOKUP function to do that. So every formula starts with an equal sign. We're going to put the equal sign there. And then on the formulas tab in the lookup and reference category, we're going to scroll down until we find the VLOOKUP function and select that. And that'll bring up this task pane that has the function arguments for the VLOOKUP function. The first one is the lookup value, and that is what are we looking up in the table? Okay, we're looking up the product, okay, and the product is in B4 for this cell, B4. Okay, so the lookup value, we're looking up widget A, and then we can tap down to the table array. And the table array is where are you looking for that? And we're looking for it in our price list. So we're going to select the whole price list here, which is I4 through J10. And then we can tab down, and our price list has two columns. It has a column for the product, and it also has a column for the price. Okay, so let me back the space through this. Okay, so this, you could say the product column is column 1, and the price column is column 2. The one furthest to the left is the first column, the one next to it is the second column. So in this column index number, we're going to be looking for the price for widget A, which is in column 2. So select 2 for the column index. And then you can tab down, and for the range lookup is a logical value. If you leave it blank or type true, then it's going to find the closest match, okay? And you probably should have the columns sorted in ascending order. So the best and safest way is to put false, which will ensure that you get an exact match. Okay. So then if we click OK, that will return the price of 49, which, so we look over here, widget A has a price of $49. Okay. It just so happens that those are on the same row. And you're like, well, why didn't we just put equals this cell over here? Because in this case, it's a very simple example, but if you had thousands of orders, this is just a few orders, but if you are running a real business and you have thousands of orders, it'll be much simpler if you have a formula that refers to your price list table. Then you don't have to type that in. And if you make changes to your price list, it'll be automatically reflected in your sales table. Okay, so now there's a problem with our formula still. And if I click on this insert function button, it'll bring up the arguments task pane again. And we want this to remain constant, okay, when we copy the formula down, and I'll show you why. So I'm going to just click OK here for now. And I'm going to use my fill handle to copy the formula down or replicate it down. Now what happened? It didn't work, okay, because if I show this argument here, the second argument, which is the table array, on the first cell in row 4, it's this table, okay? But now if I hit the escape button and click on this one and click on that argument, it shifted it down, right? And if I went to the one below, it shifted it down again, okay? And so every time it's shifting it down until eventually we get down to this last one and our table array is that. So we need to fix that. So we need to fix it right here in the first one. So we can go back to our insert function, and here, the way to fix this is to make this an absolute reference. That way, when we replicate the formula, it will remain constant. So with that I4 through J10 selected, on your keyboard in the bottom left-hand corner, there's a function key or FN key. And up at the top, there's an F4 button. So with that FN key held down and then press the F4 key at the top, it'll put dollar signs in front of of the row and column references for that range of cells. Then we can click OK. And now if we fill down, now it's correct. Now, we probably want to go back here and change this to currency or an accounting number format so that the price, well, I guess this is, I don't know what this is. I don't know if this is accounting. Yeah, it's accounting also. So you want this to be the same. Okay, so now we can see that widget B appears a couple of times. First time here, it's $33. Same thing here, it's $33 there as well. Widget C appears only once, it's $24. We look it up in the table, it's $24. Okay, so that's working great. Now there is an alternative way to do this, and it's essentially another way to make this an absolute reference. So make our table array an absolute reference. So if we select the table, and we can go up here on the name box and call this price list, all one string. And it can't have spaces in it because it's a name range, a name for a range of cells. So it's a named range. Okay, so now if I hit enter, up here on the formulas tab, there's this defined names section, and you can click on the name manager. And now we've created this price list named range that refers to I4 through J10 of the sheet 1 worksheet. Okay. So now what we can do is here on our formula, instead of this argument where we've got the absolute reference, we can replace that with price list. So just type price list like that. Or even better, if we went to the function arguments, we could type it here, type price list. Or even simpler, we could just leave this like this and just select I4 through J10, and it'll put price list in there for us because Excel has that as a named range. Okay, and that's an absolute reference. So now we can click OK. Now our formula says price list, but this one says the absolute reference. But you'll notice if I fill this down, you get the same thing. But now all of these have price list, which is essentially, it's the named range, but a named range is an absolute reference by definition. Okay, so that's an alternative way to do it. Either way will get you the correct answer and get you full credit for the assignment. Okay, all right, guys, hopefully that helped you out. And thanks for watching, and thanks for being great class members, great students in my class.